As you may already know, Hall of Fame voting is well underway. Many ballots have been put out to the public, some with more scrutiny than others. As of writing this video, 29% of the ballots have been casted, and 108 ballots have been publicized. As you can see with these results, no one surpasses the 75% threshold, meaning there would be no new Hall of Famers. However, I do think there are some Hall of Fame caliber players on this list. Some I have talked about before, and some I may talk about in the future. The guy I want to talk about today is Scott Rolen. While Roland is not necessarily as big a name as Bonds, Clemens, or Schilling, Roland certainly has a noteworthy case. Let's start by going back to where Roland began his career. He was chosen in the second round of the 1993 draft by the Philadelphia Phillies. He climbed up to the bigs in 1996 at the age of 21, playing only 37 games. By the way, do you guys remember that game, the bigs? That was a great game. Anyway, Roland played his first full season in 1997 and was voted the National League Rookie of the Year. Excluding his 37-game season in 1996, Roland's 6-season tenure with the Phillies was remarkable. While he didn't have eye-catching offensive stats on the level of other players, Roland displayed consistency with the bat. Between these years, Roland was 10th in the league in WAR, above the likes of Vladimir Guerrero, Derek Jeter, and Jim Thome, all future Hall of Famers who were in or near their primes. Although I'd say that these three players got Roland beat on the offensive side. So what made Roland so great during his Phillies tenure? Well, it was his defense. Within his first 6 seasons in Philadelphia, Roland established himself as a top 20 defender in the entire league. Alright, now let's head back to Philadelphia. Oh wait, what's that? Okay, I have just learned that Roland has been traded to St. Louis as a result of disagreements and confrontations with Phillies management. The trade occurred in the middle of 2002, Roland's first All-Star season and the only season where he earned a Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, and All-Star appearance in the same season. That's quite the player to trade for. Manager Tony La Russa took a liking to Roland. He mentioned how valuable Roland was as a third baseman, wishing every batter would just ground the ball to Roland. It didn't take very long for Roland to settle in with the Cardinals, as seen with his postseason contributions in the 2002 NLDS. However, a collision in Game 2 of the series forced him to watch the Cardinals lose the NLCS against the Giants. Roland didn't find his way back to the postseason until 2004, where apart from the NLCS, he vastly underperformed offensively. Although he provided some noteworthy moments, including 2 critical home runs in Game 2 and a go-ahead 2-run home run against Roger Clemens in Game 7. The Astros would not be able to recover. The Cardinals didn't win the World Series, but Roland performed quite well in the regular season. In fact, I'd say it was his best season ever. He would finish 4th in MVP voting as a result. Roland would earn his long-awaited championship in 2006, in part due to his fantastic World Series performance, a complete 180 from his 2004 World Series performance. His overall tenure with the Cardinals was outstanding. However, durability issues hindered Roland's true potential. This included a torn labrum in May 2005 and further shoulder problems in late 2007. However, his performance doesn't go unnoticed on the league leaderboards, as he was ranked 7th among WAR leaders between 2002 and 2007. Defensively, he didn't lead the league in UZR, but top 3 is still quite the accomplishment. Roland was sent to Toronto for the 2007 season, where he once again couldn't finish a full year, but he put in a solid performance. In mid-2008, Roland realized that the only color that looks right on him is red. So he went to the reddest team of them all, the Cincinnati Reds. He spent his final 3 seasons with the Reds, where he didn't show many signs of regression until the very end, even earning All-Star appearances in 2 of his final 3 seasons. This included a 2010 season akin to his prime years in St. Louis. Although, to be fair, Roland was an injury replacement for Chipper Jones in the 2011 All-Star game, and I wouldn't say Roland was exactly deserving of the spot. Regardless, I'd say Roland ended his career on a high note. This is what Roland's career stats look like. Roland just surpasses the 2,000 hit mark, so he passes the rule of 2,000. But his stats don't necessarily pop. But remember, Roland was an elite defender. Between 1997 and 2011, in terms of defensive WAR, Roland was the 4th best defender in the entire league. UZR leaderboards during this time period tells a similar story, as Roland was ranked 5th among all positions. If we are comparing Roland to other third basemen, let's look at how he compares to Hall of Fame third basemen. Against the average Hall of Fame third baseman, Roland is a clear Hall of Famer. More career WAR, a higher WAR 7, and a higher JAWS rating. Of course, it's never that simple, or else these videos would be short enough for TikTok. Roland may have never won MVPs, but 8 gold gloves is nothing to scoff at. Also, you have to look at the league environment he was playing in. Roland played with National League players such as Bonds, Pujols, Howard, and Helton. That's some pretty stiff competition for MVP, especially for a defense-first player. Now, there are a few points against Roland that are likely held by many voters, one being his longevity. Yes, he played for 17 seasons. Yes, he was producing offensive numbers above league average as late as his 15th season. However, his durability has ultimately led to questions regarding his Hall of Fame case. Through his 17-year career, he played in 2,038 games, which is an average of around 120 games per season. If we remove his 37-game stint in 1996, this number turns into 125 games per season. So, while I believe he showcased near peak level talent in his twilight years, his durability hurt his career stats. Coupled with the fact that he was never a perennial MVP candidate as a result of above average offensive ability at best, this shows why there is a case against Roland: a lack of narrative and a lack of volume. Like I said, Roland played in 2,038 career games and has a total of 8,518 plate appearances. Of all Hall of Famers and players currently on the ballot that played at least 2,000 games, only 4 players have less plate appearances than Roland. All 4 of them played during the mid-20th century. Of all Hall of Famers that played the majority of their career after the year 2000, like Roland, the player with the least amount of plate appearances is Vladimir Guerrero, with 9,059. While he didn't possess the defensive prowess of Roland, Guerrero earned an MVP and was one of the league's premier hitters throughout the vast majority of his career, possessing only 2 seasons with less than 100 OPS plus, a 9-game stint in 1996 and in 2011, which was his final season. And I do have to say, this list does not get any better for Roland's case. I've talked about longevity affecting the Hall of Fame cases of players like Andrew Jones. However, this case is a little different, because it's not that Roland played well for one half of his career and was subpar during the second half. Roland's ability remained consistent throughout the majority of his career, but he couldn't see the field because of durability issues. So that's the volume issue. Now, there is the narrative issue, in that the most notable thing you can really say about Roland is that he was an above-average player for nearly his whole career. His 8 gold gloves show he was a master of the third base position, and the 7 All-Star appearances show that there was enough on the offensive side to be dubbed the best third baseman in the National League. Apart from these, albeit impressive accolades, Roland was never a leader in notable counting stats like home runs or RBIs. As much as some of us ignore these counting stats, important milestones mainly come from counting stats. Roland finished his career just above 2,000 hits and 300 home runs. that's not necessarily the stats of a slam dunk Hall of Famer. You could say that defense wins championships, but offense earns MVPs. So what do I think? I'm sure you may have been able to guess this, but I think Roland should and will end up in the Hall of Fame. But I will be shocked if he is voted in this year. Like Larry Walker, Roland's case will be analytically driven. Luckily, his case is being decided during the analytics era rather than 20 years ago. Roland's statistical case is very similar to Ron Santo, who, after falling off the ballot in 1999, was voted into the Hall of Fame through the Veterans Committee in 2012. In terms of narrative, the accolade issue can make sense in the case of Roland, considering his durability problems, but his 8 gold gloves and consistent above-average offensive stats are enough for me. Also, Roland was an integral part of the Cardinals' 2006 World Series run, which I'm sure would convince Cardinals fans to put him into Cooperstown. If Roland does make the Hall of Fame, he will be a guy with one of the lowest first-year voting percentages to earn a plaque in Cooperstown, along with Larry Walker and Duke Snider. I came into this video knowing that Roland had one of the most intriguing cases on the ballot. I've come out of it thinking that while Roland was never considered the best overall player in the league, and was only once regarded the best hitter at his position, he was a fantastic defender with more than acceptable offensive abilities. Defense-first players will likely always be put at a disadvantage in these kinds of discussions, but I believe Roland did enough in his career to earn a spot in Cooperstown. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.